Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ask Dr. Bob. This is where you get to ask me, Dr. Bob Gabbay, Harvard Medical School, Joslin Diabetes Center, endocrinologist, and former Chief Scientific and Medical Officer at the American Diabetes Association. Your questions about diabetes. And as you know, if you're a regular viewer, we pick a topic and a theme. And this time, we'll be talking about diabetes, the holidays, and stress. It can be a stressful time. There's some tips around managing your diabetes. And so, if you've liked this program, if it's first time or whatever, uh, tell your friends and family, people living with diabetes that might find this helpful. And follow me on LinkedIn because I post a lot of other interesting information. So you can also send your questions to Ask Dr. Bob at drbobgabay.com. So without further ado, I got a lot of questions and comments that came in, and they really centered around four themes. The first, something I'll call the sugar police, and I'll explain that in a moment. Uh, the second one is how strategies to avoid overdoing it around the holidays, because there's lots of temptation, and what can you do? Uh, the third is about travel. Holidays are a very common time to be traveling, and how do you best manage your diabetes, and what are some tips there? And then the last one is really about dealing with the stress of the holidays. As enjoyable and a wonderful time of year it is often stressful for people without diabetes, and then diabetes just adds another little twist to it. So we're gonna hit each of those with the questions that you've asked. And the first was this great question that says, how do you deal with the sugar police? And to explain what they meant, and what I got a number of comments was, um, tell me if this has ever happened to you. A well-meaning family member or other person at dinner or whatever sort of says, "Oh, you have diabetes. Is it okay for you to eat that?" It is super common. It is very many times annoying for people with diabetes to sort of have somebody tell them what and confront them about what they should eat and what they shouldn't eat. Uh, it is often well-meaning. The person that is saying this is concerned about the person with diabetes health, and so keeping that in mind, even if it comes out in a awkward and strange kind of way. Uh, and I can tell you from the patients I care for, from the number of people that have responded to this question, because I posted on LinkedIn to get their thoughts. Uh, it is super common. Almost everyone with diabetes has had some instance, some version of, "You sure you should be eating that?" So how do you handle that? What do you do? So here are a bunch of great answers. And I really like the answers that I got from various people living with diabetes. So I'm going to share them with you. A lot of these came from uh, 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 various folks living with diabetes. Um, so one was Janice Baker, who's a dietitian, and she has a cute little button, and you can see this on her post. It says, "Yes, I can eat that." So she's already preempting any of that. She wears this button, and it just, it sort of makes a little fun, and it moves along. Another one is one person, which I like this one, said, uh, my sugar's low, so I have to eat it. And usually that shuts the person right up. A little aggressive, but hey, another strategy. And you pick the one that works for you. Um, Another person, when asked, can you eat that? They say, just watch me. And then they enjoy it. Another answer is, yeah, I'm fine. I've been managing my diabetes for X number of years, and I'm pretty good at it. But thank you for your concern. Another one is, depending on the situation, you see somebody else, they're saying, "Are you going to eat that?" Well, you can turn it right back on them and say, "Are you going to eat that?" Um, yeah, I am too, and just sort of move from there. Um, uh, and another nice way to sort of diffuse the sugar police is someone who says, I can eat what I want. I just need to account for the amount of carbohydrates that I'm taking in. As you know, this is particularly true for people with diabetes. Um, but I don't eat mushrooms because I hate mushrooms. A little joke there, and you can substitute something else for mushrooms. And another kind of answer is, yeah, I'm actually expert on me, so I'm good, but thank you. Um, and then, you can always try to deflect, change the subject, that kind of thing. So a bunch of different strategies to deal with the sugar police. And again, remembering people are typically coming from a good place. It's common, it's annoying, it's likely to happen during the holidays because people are all together, family and friends. So, strategies for the sugar police. Okay, so that was the first set of questions. Um, the next one is, what can I do to avoid overdoing it over the holidays? Well, as you know, the holidays often come. We celebrate with food, and there's lots of, you know, fun and interesting and yummy things out there. Um, People go to parties, and what are some strategies to keep you on track? First, I'll say, if it's the holiday dinner and it's a one-time thing, I don't worry too much, like it's okay. If you overdo it on one occasion, it's not a big deal. It's not going to, be catastrophic. So, you know, be kind to yourself a little bit. But if it's multiple times, well, you want to like do what you can. So, um, one thought is to try to eat something before you go to the event, and that way you're already a little full. You're less likely to eat some of the things that are there, or you'll at least eat less of the things that may not be the healthy choices. Uh, if you're going to a dinner or holiday event, think about bringing something and bringing something healthy, so you know that there'll be at least a healthier option available, whether it's like a plate of vegetables or whatever that might be. This way, there's going to be something good. So that's another strategy. Um, and then, a great way to sort of counteract what you're eating in a sense is exercise. So finding time to exercise. Um, you know, After a meal, that's a great time. It really helps with digestion. It helps to lower your blood glucose levels from whatever spike you'll be having. So where you can do that. In the cold weather. I'm here in Boston, and so some people don't like the cold. I actually don't mind. I just dress for it. But if that's an issue, shopping malls are a great place to go, walk around indoors, and just sort of work it off a little bit. Okay, so that's a few tips there around how to prep for the holiday event and what you can do. Um, the holidays are also a really common time. I think it's one of the busiest travel seasons of the year. And living with diabetes and traveling, obviously you can go everywhere and do everything, but a little bit of pre-thought before you go, a little bit of planning. So first of all, when you're thinking about bringing your medications to travel, a good rule of thumb is bring twice as much as you think you'll need because you never know what might happen, delays, changes. Better to have too much than too little. So whether that's your insulin or your tablets or whatever it might be, weekly GLP-1, bring an extra dose. Bring double what you think you'll need. When it comes to diabetes supplies, um, similarly, continuous glucose monitors, insulin pumps, bring more than you'll need, right? Bring more, bring extra, because again, you never know. Um, And also an important thing to think about is always carry all of those things, your medications, how you're monitoring your blood glucose. Um, Carry that with you in your carry-on. Do not check it. Just you can't take chances because the airlines are notoriously not great at this. Um, Another good thing to do is to carry like some little snacks with you, just so you always have them handy. Again, in your carry-on, really little fruit snacks that are, ideally non-perishable, types of things. It could, whatever it is that you like, fruit bars. Have something a little extra just in case you're stranded, there's delays, there's problems. You've got that covered. Um, I know I travel quite a lot, so I've had delays many, many times, and I'm sure you have as well. Sometimes use the airport as a great place to get some steps in. Walk around. It helps to sort of deal with some of the stress of, oh my God, I can't believe I'm running late. You got to roll with it. You have no control. Walking can help calm you down a little bit, and it's a great way to get a little exercise. Um, and then the other thing for people that wear insulin pumps, a good rule of thumb is once you're on board, change the time of your pump to the destination that you'll be going, so that you're already sort of plugged into the new destination. I think that's a helpful thing to do. Uh, Another thought is to drink more water than you might normally. Planes are very dehydrating. It's just a good way to help balance your blood glucoses. So drinking water is great, and overall just sort of have fun with it. Think of something fun that you can do. One thing I do is like I'll have a favorite movie I've been wanting to see, and I'll download it before I board the plane or the train or whatever, so I have something to look forward to. It could be a book, whatever that might be, a little something. And for better or worse, travel is an adventure. You got to roll with things, as best as you can. Um, so we covered travel, and the last topic I want to hit is around stress and the holidays. So the holidays can be a very stressful period of time. You know, people often have expectations. It might have been like how it was when they were a kid, and it's not the same as an adult. Um, Dealing with family and friends can be stressful. If you think you are the only family that has stressful and complicated relationships, I promise you, I've never met a family that is not complicated and have some stressful things going on. That's just families. So know that it's common. It's You're going to have moments that are going to be challenging in most cases. Uh, Layer on top of that, some people have seasonal affective disorder, living in a place where there's fewer hours of daylight and you have less daylight exposure. That's a real sort of clinical thing that you can speak to your healthcare professional about, but ensuring that you get enough light exposure can help with that. And um, and then I really think because of the busyness and craziness and all of the things that go into the holidays, um, thinking about how to sort of fill your tank, because a lot of these things can sort of draw out of your tank. Difficult personal relationships, the sugar police advising you what you should do and what you shouldn't do, travel and the unpredictability. You can imagine all sorts of things. So, in terms of filling your tank, like what gives you joy? It's a good thing to think about. What do you enjoy doing? And most simplistically, do a bit more of that. Try to find a way to plan that into your schedule. Um, And it could be whatever, you like movies, you like, whatever that might be. Try to plan some time around the holidays where you'll be able to do that. Um, if you're sort of all family and friends together and you're, in the same living all together, take some breaks. Get out, walk around. Walking is a wonderful way to diffuse a lot of stress. So I highly recommend that. Um, I'll tell you something that I do in general to deal with stress is journaling. And I know not everybody wants to do this, and it doesn't have to be every day, but just writing down how you're feeling. Um, there's actually a lot of medical science showing that it is effective. So think about doing that. Um, and then another thing that you can do is just to think about the things that you're grateful for. That's been demonstrated scientifically, believe it or not, uh, to really reduce stress and increase happiness. So taking time to do that, it could be a morning ritual, it could be at the end of the day, it could be whenever you have a chance or whenever you're feeling particularly stressed. So we covered these four themes, uh, talking about the sugar police and some of the good answers that you can give people. We talked about some strategies to not overdo things around the holidays, particularly when you're going to an event. Some of the things to do around planning for traveling, bringing extra supplies and medications, uh, and then finally the stress of the holidays. And I have to say that one of the things I'm grateful for is the opportunity to share these things with you, to spend this time with you. Please have a wonderful holiday. If you found this helpful, please spread the word to others. Um, I do this just because I enjoy doing it. It's sort of a little bit of who I am. Um, Follow me on LinkedIn, where I post lots of other interesting diabetes things. And be well, happy holidays, and take care of yourselves.